Hey, what up, dude, guys? A middle-aged muscle man musician, aka Donald Pump. Hopefully the road noise isn't too bad for you. I'll try to do what I can with the audio here, but I've been trying to get these videos together, and I realized the only way I was going to be able to get this out in a timely fashion was to just go ahead and do it when I go from job 1 to job 2. I'm a pretty busy cat. So, don't forget to hit subscribe. Make sure you mash the bell for the updates. I kind of crank the videos out in bunches. So you definitely want to see that. I'll get to the measurements first. But real quick, I did a 6-week program. I'd had a huge 1-year transformation. I'm right around 1.5 years right now. Not only to motivate myself, but to show guys what kind of change they can make in a 6-week period of time with just some subtle changes. I did the challenge. It was kind of like putting myself in the line a little bit, because I'm going to be doing some programs for some of you guys, and obviously nobody's going to want a program if there's no growth or very little growth. And so, like I've said before, this is more geared toward middle-aged guys who are just getting back into it. Maybe now you got a year or two in the bag, starting to really like your physique, but you need to take it to the next level. You seem to have hit like a plateau, and you're not able to change too much at the time. Like maybe you can't change your diet too much. You can't exactly add hours in your schedule to do more training. Maybe you're just stuck and you're kind of like, I'm bored. I'm making the same old gradual progress. I'd really like to do a little something to speed it up, to get a real reaction from my body. So I get right into the measurements. And I will say that many of my goals I didn't hit. My goals were kind of lofty, though. That was pointed out to me by a few people that were like, hey, man, there's no way you can grow that much in that body part in that amount of time. Now, some of it, I was overzealous, but I do know what parts of my body grow the most quickly and all that kind of stuff. Oh, and also, maybe you have better genetics than me. Maybe you're a better responder. Maybe you're earlier on in your programming. Maybe you're on PEDs. You will get even more great results probably than what I got. But still, I'd like to share mine, and you guys let me know what you think. And I've got a video coming in the next few days. I'll say a week, because I always end up pressed for time, where a friend had asked me, dude, give me a program, when he saw my before and afters and some advice of mine online on social media. And I was like, okay. So I started putting a program together. I didn't really, you wanted just like a skeleton. I don't know many of the details I'd normally get from like a questionnaire for him. So I kind of did like a skeleton workout, and said, adjust it based on. But then I decided, you know what? I need to keep making content here. I'd also like I like to help a friend out, so I can give him some kind of tips to help him along the way. And of course, I'm going to go further into it and ask him some questions and alter it. But it's just to give him an idea how much time you got to put in, set numbers, things like that, and a couple of key points. But anyways, I decided, why don't I just make it into a video? Because what I was making for him is what I call a skeleton or an outline type of program, where it's like, okay, if you're an average guy around our age, what would I recommend for you? So into my measurements, so you know what kind of increases we're talking about. I'm really happy with my biceps. Actually, I should say I'm not happy with my biceps. I'm always got a little mental thing with that, due to not being able to flex one of them right because of injury, just for the fact I have long arms, so I have to grow them real big to overcompensate. But anyways, as far as the growth I was able to get, I'm very happy. I started out at 14-inch biceps. Week and a half, gained 1/10 of an inch. 3 weeks in, 0.4 inches. I was at a 1/2 inch of growth at 4.5 weeks. I ended up at 14.6. I gained 0.6 inches on my biceps. My goal had been 14.8, because I decided I was really going to make some alterations in my programming, my training, things like that, to change things up and really spark crazy growth And some would think that that's crazy growth. And I mean, it's definitely not bad. As far as the delts go, my measurement around my delts, I started out at 48.7, just wanted to grow to like 49. I knew it's really hard to grow anything as far as that circumference goes in a short period of time. You know, the slightest bit is a lot, essentially. So, didn't make it to 49, got to 48.9. You know, about a fifth of an inch. Remember, this is only in 6 weeks, so, you know. My pecs, I knew those are fast responders, just from the past and everything. And I really, really hammered down what was best for my pec training, personally. 42.5 inches is where I started. I'm at 43.7 now. So, I mean, 1.2 inches in 6 weeks. 44 inches was the goal. Didn't hit the goal, but that was another lofty one. 1.5 inches in 6 weeks is kind of crazy. Not going to allow myself to feel terrible about it. As far as my waist goes, in the full 6 weeks, I went from 33 to 32. I'm sorry, 32.3. 32.3. I was aiming for 32. You know, that's kind of my long-term goal, is to be a 32-inch waist. I mean, it wasn't necessarily like I thought I could get to there. I've lost, 8 inches on my waist or whatever in the last year and some change. So I kind of know at what rate I can get that there. But the abs look a lot better. And if you've been looking at the screen and not just listening, you'll notice that I've got some before and after pictures here. Some of them aren't the greatest, Some I just don't have to show the progression from week to week to week. But, the photos will get too small anyway in that case. Plus, this is a short, I'm trying to make this a short video. My quads, I hit my goal there. 21.3 is where I started. I wanted to be at 21.7, partly so that when you combine the two of my quads, it would be basically right, almost in line with the width of my chest. I hit the goal there, 21.7, started at 21.3, so 0.4 inches on the quads. Calves, had a lot more growth than I thought I would. I went up 14.8 to 15.4. Over 1/2 inch on my calves. That was directly from a change I made. I know that for a fact. I trained them one way for 1.5 years, and changed just one little thing up, and that was it. My weight, while staying at the same amount of calories, doing the same amount of cardio, and all of that good stuff, and also getting smaller where I'm supposed to get smaller, I managed to go up from 166.8 to 171.8. Gained 5 pounds. 5 pounds of muscle mass. Now, to answer a question, you're not going to be able to get that kind of growth every time you change your programming or change the way you approach your programming, etc. I mean, if that were the case, then everybody would change their programming every month or every week even. But I believe that there are changes that you can make that can semi-consistently give you pretty darn good results. It's just that you're not going to hit the nail on the head 100% as to which changes to make. Maybe you'll, if you really put your mind to it, you do your book work, you use a lot of your experience and maybe peers' experience, you might be able to get it right like 60% of the time. My goal is to help guys get it right like 80% of the time. Just give them that extra little nudge, So if you're doing, 20% of that effort in the form of experience, well, maybe you won't have to learn the hard way. I mean, that's essentially what a lot of the experience is that leads to the good results. So, yeah, I'm really happy with the results that I got. It's going to keep me using this muscle as often, if not more often, in the gym. In fact, I made some changes since I finished the 6 weeks that I think will benefit me greatly, me personally. And I'm going to share that kind of beginner training program. I mean, a lot of you guys may not consider it to be beginner. I want feedback on it. Maybe you'll say, these movements, yeah, I can find them online, but I don't feel like I'm connecting on them and stuff like that. And maybe it's because the form's a little shoddy and I'm not explaining it fully. Let me know. Let me know if the movements are difficult, or if you think there's too much or too little volume. If you think I should go into more detail about how much weight you should start off with.